Presenting petitions, the honourable member for Elgin, St. Thomas, London South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honour to rise to present to this House a petition by Canadians concerned with what has become of the MAID system in Canada. There is a grave concern that these petitioners express that allowing medical assistance in dying for people who are not already dying devalues their lives. It endorses the notion that life with a disability is optional and, by extension, dispensable. These are, I think, petitioners very alarmed by the fact that when MAID is offered due to a lack of available service or treatment, it is not actually a real choice. So what these petitioners are seeking, Mr. Speaker, is that we protect all Canadians whose natural death is not reasonably foreseeable by not having MAID available for those who do not have a natural death coming within the next 6 months. And I present this petition for the House for due consideration by members and the Government of Canada.
Thank you. Presenting.
The next petition that I'm tabling deals with the issue of euthanasia, and I've tabled petitions on this topic before, but this is a different petition that highlights, in particular, concerns about Recommendation 21 from the 2023 report by the Special Joint Committee on Medical Assistance in Dying, as it was called. Recommendation 21 deals with the issue of so-called advance requests. Petitioners note that persons who have made an advance request might no longer be able to confirm their wishes at the time of their death, especially if those wishes have changed. They express concerns that advance requests rely on written documents describing a person's future suffering and condition. Doctors and families might interpret the request differently from what the patient wanted. Petitioners note concerns that advance requests could lead to coercion or undue pressure for older adults living with disabilities, and highlights ethical concerns about how an old request would be handled, and how it is difficult for a person to predict their experience in a situation that they have not yet experienced or cannot or don't have the context to predict. And petitioners also say that Canada should increase funding for palliative care and hospice care, suicide prevention, that offering euthanasia rather than providing support services devalues those living with chronic conditions. Therefore, petitioners ask the government to not support any legislation related to the expansion of euthanasia, particularly along the lines of Recommendation 21, the inclusion of advance requests. They want to see the House support an increasing government focus on advancing compassionate, life-affirming palliative and hospice care. Mr. Speaker, so that's that petition. Thank you. The next petition that I'm tabling.
How many petitions does he have remaining? Because there are a couple of other members who would also like to present a petition. Okay, I just need to know the number. So
I do have 4 more. I'm happy to give other members a chance if you'll allow me to stand up again. I know that's not normally the process, but if you'll allow,
the member can continue, but maybe fairly rapidly.
Okay. All right. I will save some for later then, Speaker. Much to the disappointment of members, I know. Mr. Speaker, the next petition also deals with the issue of euthanasia. It, in particular, highlights concerns from the disability community about how proposals for the expansion of euthanasia and the existing Track 2 system really undermines the experience of people with disabilities when they access the healthcare system. That offering medical assistance in dying as a solution for disability or chronic illness reduces incentives to improve treatment and care for people with those conditions. Petitioners want to see the House protect all Canadians whose natural death is not reasonably foreseeable by prohibiting medical assistance in dying for those whose prognosis for natural death is more than 6 months.
The honourable member for Peace River Westlock.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I too want to present a petition today highlighting the concerns of the petitioners around euthanasia in Canada. Choosing to end one's life because of lack of available services or treatments is not a real choice, is what the petitioners are pointing out. They also point out that choosing to end one's life for those with disability or chronic illnesses is who are not dying devalues their life and tacitly endorse the notion of life with a disability as optional and by extension dispensable. Offering medical assistance in dying as a solution to a disability or chronic illness reduces incentives to improve treatment or care with people living with those conditions, and the petitioners note that Canada does not want to be an ableist society. They also point out that people with disabilities have expressed opposition to allowing MAID for people with disabilities, or Track 2 as it's sometimes known. They also are calling on the government to protect all Canadians whose natural death is not reasonably foreseeable by prohibiting medical assistance in dying to those whose prognosis for natural death is more than 6 months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have 30 seconds for the honourable member for London Fanshawe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I present a petition to the government with regarding to the medical assistance in dying, also known as MAID. Due to the lack of available services or treatments, it is not a real choice. Allowing medical assistance in dying for those with disabilities or chronic illness who are not dying devalues their lives. Therefore, I call upon the government to protect all Canadians whose natural death is not reasonably foreseeable by prohibiting medical assistance in dying for those whose prognosis for natural death is more than 6 months.
Thank you. That ends the time we have for petitions.